Of all the ideas that became the United States, there's a line here that's at the heart of all the others. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security.
No idea what you said.
It means if there's something wrong, those who have the ability to take action have the responsibility to take action.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. What's the biggest threat to a prosperous and peaceful American future? Well, obviously, that's an open border. If people that want to kill us can just walk into our country, or if third world people that want to mooch off our welfare state can just come here and do nothing, then that's going to destroy the country. We'll become the third world and we'll have a zero trust society. You don't want that future. But the next worst thing would be giving those people the right to vote. They're not American citizens. They broke our laws. They should be deported. They shouldn't be given goodies like the ability to vote. Yet New York is trying to give criminal aliens the right to vote. They passed a law that says criminal aliens can vote in their elections. They had to be overturned in the Supreme Court. Democrat states all around the country are trying to do this. It's called the California model. They did it in California and they flipped a consistently red state blue in the matter of a few years. This is how the scam works. Import people, addict them to federal services and welfare, and then demand fealty to the Democrat Party for more welfare. It's really a great plan to flip a place blue, and you can do so quickly. That's why Trump is stopping criminal alien invasions in this nation and why he's fixing the voter rules. This week, President Trump signed an executive order that is the most muscular and affirming federal order to secure our elections in American history. It states that to vote in a federal election, you must have proof of citizenship. You must have paper ballots so we can track the votes, and there's a physical copy of everything. It can't just be changed to the computer. Attorney generals across the nation and federally will be tracking all election fraud, cracking down on the late ballots and the fraudsters, along with tying all federal funds to integrity compliance. So if you're a state that just allows people to dump piles of ballots into drop boxes months after an election, you're not going to get federal funds. It's a kick-ass order, and we're really excited about it. We broke a bunch of news on it, focused on it, and we missed something. And it's up to us as honest arbiters to tell you what we missed. We missed what President Trump did right before signing that order, which was to declassify every single document inside of the FBI relating to Crossfire Hurricane. The Crossfire Hurricane investigation is the fake Russia hoax investigation. It kicked off 9 years ago. It's a big deal. Our own FBI tried to sabotage a presidential candidate based on absurd conspiracy theory, sabotaged that same candidate after he was elected, then coordinated a deep state-directed censorship campaign to throw him out of office. The only way we can hope to fix this is total transparency. The FBI's dirty laundry must be made public, and more importantly, people have to go to prison. President Trump was asked about this in an interview that aired this week, and he said something pretty remarkable. He said that based on the Crossfire Hurricane documents that he's seen, it will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that he won the 2020 election. Maybe they're all tied together, right? The election integrity, the Crossfire Hurricane documents, maybe it's all just one unified thing. Let's have a listen.
Law firms are being gone after very much, and they virtually admit they cheated. You know, we have them in a very strong position, but there's been a lot of cheating going on.
One of the law firms
people have never seen anything like it, and we have to stop it.
One of the law firms that you've been going after, Perkins Coie, which was responsible for contracting a guy called Christopher Steele to draw up a huge document of lies about you that led to all sorts of Trump-Russia collusion allegations for years. You announced yesterday that you also are declassifying all of the documents from the Trump-Russia collusion hoax from what they call Crossfire Hurricane in the FBI. What do you think people are going to learn from those documents?
I think they're going to learn how corrupt the election was. It was a very corrupt election. That was, you're talking about the second election, I assume. That was an election that I won. I won by a lot. And you're going to find that out. The documents are there. The numbers are there. We won that by a lot. Mm-hmm. We won 3 elections, and we did very well in the second one. Now, the third one, we blew it away. The third one, we said, too big to rig. And it was too big to rig. But that second election, it was the COVID nightmare, and a lot of that had to play. But that was a rigged election, totally rigged.
I think that Trump might have had a cold during this interview. I'm not sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has said this consistently, that were it not for the deep state coordinated, orchestrated sabotage, that he would have won, and won walking away. Now he says that there are documents that are going to prove it, and he's declassifying those documents. The person in charge of those documents would be Kash Patel. Kash Patel is the man at the FBI who has all of these files. And what will we find inside of them? Well, why don't we ask Kash?
Do you think Crossfire Hurricane, based on everything that you've gleaned, that you can talk about, what do you think it was all about?
I think it started out as someone trying to look into whether or not there was any foul play, which I think at the premise of it is what the FBI is supposed to do and the IC is supposed to do. So I think it's an original origin. That's probably where it started. I think where it metastasized to was based very quickly by a select few people was this is the vehicle by which we're going to target a presidential campaign, and we're going to allow the other campaign to fund the information we'd inject into the intelligence community and into the FISA court so that we can surveil someone on that other campaign and maybe get information to dirty them up or take them down. And I think that just crosses so many lines of wrong and illegal behavior that I'm not sure how we ever let it get that far.
President Trump says that inside of these documents, you're going to see proof that he won the election. Kash Patel is here saying this was obviously a scam to smear President Trump in order to strip the election victory from him. I don't know. What do they know? This is before Kash Patel became FBI director. What I think is particularly interesting is that as soon as President Trump became president again, on the first day, he stripped security clearances from James Comey, Christopher Wray, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, everybody who was associated with that Crossfire Hurricane smear, slander. I mean, that is exactly what it is. They should be sued into oblivion for this. None of it was real. All of it was fake. Nobody has really paid any price. Adam Schiff, we mentioned California, and it's mono state. It's a Democrat superstate, totally gerrymandered and rigged for permanent Democrat control, although people are fleeing California, and therefore the Electoral College votes are going to states like Florida and Texas. California is losing power now, but nonetheless, Adam Schiff, who was responsible for saying that he's seen direct evidence of Russia collusion, while on the Intel Committee, that was a lie. He got rewarded by getting promoted into the Senate. He's now a senator. Trump ordered the declassification of all files. This leaves one man very nervous, Adam Schiff. If you think Adam should be investigated for treason, did he stage a coup? We certainly know that he lied to the American people. And it's nice to see these liars get called out. Natalie Winters, you might recognize her from Steve Bannon's War Room, Real America's Voice. She's on Piers Morgan's show. And she went berserker mode on the man who created, he was paid by the Hillary Clinton campaign, but nonetheless wrote up the Donald Trump dossier that launched Russia collusion. And he got, cooked here. So beautiful to see. The first time we've ever seen it happen. Some accountability. You can start with Natalie Winters.
Well, I know Christopher Steele probably wanted to go down in history as someone that colluded with the Clinton campaign to take down President Donald J. Trump, but I really think that you represent probably the ultimate grifter in the American political space. For you to even come on here, obviously you're trying to sabotage what President Trump is doing when it comes to Russia and Ukraine, but to sit here, what is it, nearly a decade after you tried to smear President Trump as a Russian asset, to then say, well, I think he's a Russian asset, but even though I'm really good at my job and create all these intelligence reports, it's just sort of a feeling that I have. I'm sorry, what stones do you even have left to turn over to try to corroborate your claim that President Trump is a Russian asset? You what? Weaponized FISA courts, surveillance, warrants, not just domestic spy agencies, international spy agencies too, the entire DNC apparatus, a bunch of political operatives and registered foreign agents here in the United States. The American people would really appreciate it if you would stop injecting your efforts to curtail and totally tank the America First movement by smearing anyone who doesn't want to get involved in forever wars or continue the needless and ceaseless dying of in Ukraine and in Russia, just so you can sit there from your nice perch and just continue to defend the globalist world order by continuing to fan the flames of conflict in Russia and Ukraine. And you know what? The same people that you ally yourself with here in the United States, you think you're so good at gathering intelligence. Last time I checked, it was the 51 intel agency officers, spies, who said that the Hunter Biden hard drive, which I've reported on firsthand, it's legitimate. You want to talk about president's sons who are involved in businesses with foreign countries? Well, I'd like to introduce you to Hunter Biden, right? When those 51 people that I'm sure that you know all too well, you were probably likely involved with the drafting of that letter, said that was Russian disinformation. Well, it turned out that that was true, and shame on you for the last decade trying to inject the idea that smearing President Trump as a Russian agent or a Russian asset is somehow going to tank the MAGA movement. It's about putting America first, and the fact that you can still sit here and you have no actual evidence beside one random Russian meeting and, oh, we need to just continue to get more evidence. You're a complete political hack and grifter, and I wish the American political scene didn't have your voice in it.